Okay. Then what is this guy over here then? That is our ratio. Okay, that's our pattern. So what's 2 times a half? Where 2 halves make a whole, last I knew, right? Okay, so if I want this term, I go to the previous term and then times 2. If I want the third term, I go to the previous term times 2. If I want the fourth term, I go to the previous term times 2. Okay, so that's all I can do there. So let's do some graphing. So 0.5, because this is going by halves, over 1 up 1, 2, 2, so over 2 up 2, and 3, 4, so over 3 up 4. There you go. And that's all we can reach. So that's all we're going to do. We're not plain connect the dot because it's just these points. Because if we turn this into a sequence, it would be what? 0.5, comma 1, comma 2, comma 4, comma 8, comma dot dot dot. Okay? Happens to be infinite in this case. Alright. Alright, so let's keep on going here. Remind ourselves some stuff. So this is where we're going to start. Okay, so a sub 1 equals 8. So there's your 8. Okay, and then it says what? Previous term. Previous term. That's what that is. Okay, and we're going to take half of it. This is our what? What's this? It's our ratio. Okay. So if I want the second term, we're going to go to the previous term times half, which would be 4. If I want the third term, I'm going to go to the previous term and take half of it, which is 2. So on and so forth. Make sure you plot the points. Okay. Here we go. Here's number 11. So what's this telling you? A sub 1 equals 1. So this is a 1 here. Oh, I should have done that in green like I'd done before. Oh well. Okay, and again, what does this mean? Previous term. I'm going to multiply it times 2/3. Okay, so that is your ratio, your R value. Okay, so to get this guy, we're going to do 1 times 2/3. Well, that's 2/3. What about this one? Change colors. This is going to be 2/3 times 2/3. Oh goodness, that's a 4 over 9. Okay. Go back to green. So now we're going to take 4 over 9 times what? 2/3. Okay, nothing seems to be reducing at this point, so it's 8 over 27. Okay, so 8 over 27 times 2/3. And if you can reduce your fraction, you should. Now, I want you to take note of this. From here to here is 1, so this is what? 1/3, 2/3, and then you got your 1. 1. Then 1 and 1/3, 1 and 2/3, 2. Same thing with the y value. So you can make that happen. Alright. Holy cow, what about this basketball stuff? Okay. Well, They have a basketball tournament. It's a single elimination tournament, and they want the winning team that advances and the losing team is eliminated. Okay, the committee wants the winner to play 4 games. How many teams should the committee invite? Okay, so if they want the winner to play 4 games, so let's just kind of do this diagram out. So here we go. We got the loser and the winner. Okay, well that's 1 game. Well, how'd the winner get there? Well, he played this other game, right? How many games has the winner played? 2. Okay. So I'm going to put the W down here. Keep track of them easier. So what's going on over here? More teams. So how many teams we got so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 teams, and the winning team has played 3 times. Okay? And so how many times do they want them to play? 4 games. So what's happened here? We had 2, and then we had 4, and then we had 8. What's happening every time? It's doubling every single time. So if we have 8 teams now, it should be 16. So our formula kind of goes like this. Y equals 2 to the nth power. Okay. So if I put a 4 here, so what does that give me? So let's stop for just a second here. Let's see if I can get this thing to play nice. Okay. Let's hit clear. And say 2 to the 4th power. Well, that's 16. So that means 16 teams. How about that? 16 teams. So let me back up just a little bit. And so this is what that would look like. And so I kind of started with looking at this diagram thing, working from the winners out to how many games. Now 13 is a little bit backwards from that. Okay? It's a little bit backwards from that. So on 13, I'll make a little bit more space here. What is happening with 13? Okay, we got 124 players. Okay, well, I'm going to have to call her back. Got 124 players, but in this case, what are we doing? 4 players at a time with 1 winner. So we're not going down by 2, we're going down by 4. We're going down by 4 instead. So we're going down. So our rate really is 1/4, right? Our rate is really 1/4. Okay. And then the kicker here is, how many teams after we're going to have for our first round, and that's going to be a little bit kind of strange. So I'm going to kick out of here real quick first, because I need to get this thing finished up for you guys. And let me show you a little bit of something. Go to the teacher's book and show you what they got for this problem. Okay. So they decided that you're going to take 1,224, divided by 4, and that's going to be our beginning place. And then going down by 4th. Okay, so they decided that this information is what they're going to go with, alright? And then what they got down to here, okay, alright. Then they said, well, let's plug in a 1, because that's for the winning team kind of deal. So then they divided by 256, and they said, well, 256 is 1/4 to the 4th power. Craziness, okay? So if that's true, and that's just a little trick of the trade, okay? When we learn with logs, that'd be a lot easier. And they said, well, if this is true, that means 4 is equal to n minus 1. You add your 1, and then that ends up being, okay, there we go. How many games will the winner play? 5. So I'm sure you didn't catch all of that, but that's what we're looking for, okay? Well, there's 12.2, and I've done all the assignment except for one. Let me do one. Let me help you out with number 17, okay? Okay, number 17. Almost forgot. And this one counts twice. It's a big one. So slide on down here. There's the French's triangle, by the way. My suggestion for you on number 17 is to fill in this table, okay? So we're filling a few of these numbers here. So going from 6 to 12, that's what, times 2? And then from 12 to 24, that's times 2? Well, if it's multiplying going this way, it means it's divided by 2 going this way, right? Or times 1/2. So the third term would be 3. So that, because that's half of 6. What would the second term be? Well, that'd be 3 over 2. Now I would encourage you to leave it 3 over 2, not 1.5. Okay, well we're going to have to extend this out a little bit further over here because we need to get down to 0. Okay. 1. So what's half of 3 over 2? Well, that's 3 over 2 times 1/2. Well, that's 3 over 4. And then 0. Well, 3 over 4 times 1/2 again would be 3 over 8. So let's well, that's not very helpful either. Let's try this color, see if you can see that a little bit better. Okay, well just trust me, that's 3 over 8. There we go. That's a better color to read. 3 over 8. Alright. So let's plug in a 1 here. So if I plug a 1 in for A, that gives me 2. Well, what's it supposed to be? 3/4? Okay, let's plug a 1 in for this. Okay. So that's 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 over 8. What's that reduce to? Well, that reduces to 3/4, doesn't it? Okay, so that worked out good. Let me try 0. Anything to 0 power is 1, so 1 times 3/8. Oh, that worked out good. I think plugging in 0 is real nice. So you need to work your way through these. Plug in a 0, plug in a 1, and see if it works out. So this one right here says 0 is equal to, so you plug in 0 and 6. Well, that doesn't work, does it? Okay. So let's plug in a 1 here. Plug in a 1. Okay, if I do 1 minus, I'm putting, because I don't want a negative. So if I plug in a 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So that whole thing, so if I plug in 1, that whole thing turns to 1. So 1 times 3/4. So I plugged in a 1 and I got 3/4. Hey, it worked out pretty good. Alright, E says 0 and 3/8. That looks good. Is times 2 the pattern going this direction? Yep. 2 times previous term seems pretty good. Okay. And then this one says 1 is 3/4. Worked out okay. Again, 2 times previous. Good. What the crud is this? Okay. Well, let's just plug in a 2. Okay. And if I plug in a 2 and I get 3 over 2 or 1.5, then I'm still in business, aren't I? Okay, and again, I'm plugging in a 2 because I don't want a negative. So I plug in a 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. 1 times 1.5. So I plugged in a 2. I got 1.5 out. Is that what that is? Sure is. So we're in business there. Okay. And so do the same kind of thing with H as well. That's the whole thing. Good luck. Hope you learned a couple of things. If not, you should at least get a good grade on this assignment, right? Just took you a few minutes. Bye. Oops.